Okay, I fucking did it. I did it. I did it. So this is my first component level board repair. This is an HP laptop. I forgot the model number. Customer brought it in. It's totally dead. He took it to another shop and they replaced the power jack. And after that, they said they showed it something and then it died. So I actually brought up the schematics for this. Hold on, let me pause this guy in the background, because I'm actually looking at a YouTube video as I'm doing this. I'm so fucking excited. So, from what I learned on YouTube, when you first plug the computer in, there was supposed to be 3 volts at the switch, and then when you press the power button, that sends a signal to somewhere, and then it turns on the computer. So this computer was totally dead. When you plugged it in, there was no 3 volt shit. There was no 3 volt signal anywhere. So, like, after last night, looking at the schematics behind me, this area started to interest me, because I noticed as I was like, how small is this? So this is what is called a MOSFET. If I can get this focus better. This is what's called a MOSFET. It's like a kind of transistor that supplies voltage all over the board. If you look right here, you'll see something, a label PD201, and on the board behind me, the schematic behind me, you will see it says PD201 is a MOSFET. So this area for like the past few hours was bugging the shit out of me. And right here, yeah, it's hard working under a microscope with a camera. Right here was like a little resistor. I didn't know what the hell it was, but I looked on the schematics and I said, hey, I'm starting to understand this shit. So this right here was a resistor. And this power line right here was 19 volts. And on the other side was 1 volt. And this is supposed to be a 19 volt power supply. This fuse right here is supposed to be delivering 19 volts. So is this one. And all of that powers this chip. And this is the chip that actually sends, this is the power distribution chip. This makes the 3 volt signal, the 5 volt signal, and it sends this, and this is what starts up this CPU. So this area wasn't getting power. Like this, I had 19 volts on this line, but this line was only giving me, I think, 1 volt. And I noticed that right after this MOSFET, there's like a trace right here. This is a 19 volt trace, and it ended in this resistor right here. So last night I'm messing around and I'm like, you know what, I had a tester. Where is it? Let me show you. I don't know if I made a mistake or something last night, but I got this tester and I hooked it up to that resistor, and then it started giving me like a funny DISC signal. I don't know what the hell that means, but it wasn't the meaning, the reading it was supposed to give. So I'm like, wait a minute, something is wrong here. So I knocked off this sucker, the resistor, and if you look at it, it's like quarter the size of a pea grain. And I took it off, and instead what I did was I soldered like a little piece of wire right here. I have to cut this off. The first time I tried cutting this, it failed, and this thing, hold on, and this whole shit just broke off. Actually, let me do it now in front of you guys so you can see how hard this shit is under the microscope. fuck this up again. Gotta be some technique to doing this. Let's see if that worked. Did it work? Haha! Yes, it did. Okay. But it's still a little bit sticking out right here. But anyway, all I did was I soldered a little piece of wire because I couldn't find a resistor. Because I don't have that yet in stock. Because I'm just learning this shit. Who the fuck knew I would need a resistor? So I don't have it. So what I did is I soldered a piece of wire over these two jacks. The wire itself will act as a sort of resistor because there is resistance in this metal right here. So I did it like I just finished 15 minutes ago, and I plugged in the power supply, and would you fucking believe the power jack actually turned on? So it worked. I'm so excited. Like I'm so pumped up right now that this I saved myself $100 and made the 250 because now I'm going to charge the client for a new board. And actually this is something another area in my business that I can expand because usually when like clients would come in with like component level board repair like this or bad motherboard, I would just toss the board and get a new one. And now that I know this stuff, that's like really stupid to do that. So I can actually increase my rates. So let's say I charge a client 150 for the labor plus the parts of the board. All in, it usually ends up around being $400 depending on the cost of the board. So now I can actually increase my rates to like maybe like a standard 225 repair or something. I don't know. It actually it ends up being cheaper to the client and better for me because I have more money in my pocket from doing something like this. Even though this took me like literally 2 days of going through YouTube, looking at guys try to explain this shit in Indian and Chinese and Vietnamese, and finally I found one English guy who actually set me upon this path that I'm on right now. I guess that's why it worked. So what's this? Wow, this is really sticking out. I have to get better with this, but this was like a test because I'm not gonna give the client back this machine, even though I can, because this is just like a little piece of resistor right here, and this little fucker killed this entire machine. Unbelievable. I'm like totally entranced with this. It's so amazing, man. Wow. Wow. And once you learn this kind of stuff, it doesn't take a lot. So I'm gonna put this in the finished pile because I'm gonna test this out next. I'm actually gonna make a video on me trying to turn this computer on in a few. That's exciting. So all in all, this path of learning, like once you know this stuff, shut this off. I don't need this microscope anymore. So once you actually understand this stuff, you can pretty much repair anything. This microscope wasn't that expensive. It ran me. You can get microscopes on eBay for like $500-600, but from what I saw, what the people on eBay was selling was the stand to the microscope. This shit here, like this, the body itself is a $250 piece, but what was adding cost to the microscope was like people will have like the fancy arms where you can swing out and stuff like that. I just opted for the simple stuff, and I'm good with my hands. And I know I can simply go to like Home Depot or someplace like that and get like an arm for $40. You know, that does the same. Oh, this is hot. Why is this on? All right, so that's it for now. Just a little quick update on how excited I am that this shit is actually working. And anyone that wants to do this can learn also with me. It's fun and exciting, and for something like this, since I'm already established, this can easily add an extra hundred k a year to the bottom line of the business. For a new person starting out, it's going to be much more difficult for you guys because you got to get yourself established. You know, but any questions you guys have on this, on learning this shit, let me know.